You are about to buy a Japanese car. You have done your research. You checked reviews. You watched videos. You asked friends. And you still might be making a $9,000 mistake because the information that actually matters about these cars is not in the reviews. It is in the legal documents, the class action filings, the internal manufacturer emails, the government investigation records. I went through all of it, and what I found is going to change how you look at every Japanese car on the road. Let's talk about Toyota first, because Toyota has the strongest reputation of any car brand on earth, and that reputation saved them from something that should have destroyed them. In 2010, Toyota paid a $1.2 billion criminal fine to the U.S. Department of Justice, the largest criminal penalty ever paid by a car manufacturer in American history. The reason was not an accident. It was not a supplier problem. It was a cover-up. Toyota knew their vehicles had an unintended acceleration defect. Owners were pressing the brake, and the car was accelerating instead. People died, and the internal emails that came out in court showed Toyota engineers had documented the problem years earlier. One email specifically discussed avoiding the word recall to protect the company's public image. They chose image over safety. 9 million vehicles were eventually recalled. Now, I am not saying avoid Toyota forever, because outside of that case, Toyota's engineering is genuinely strong. But here is something specific that almost no one checks before buying a used Toyota. The 3.5-liter V6 inside the Highlander, Tacoma, and Sequoia from 2007 to 2015 burns oil. Not a little. Sometimes a full quart every 1,200 miles. Toyota's own official position, 1 quart per 600 miles is acceptable. They consider that normal. Most owners never check oil between changes. By the time they notice, bearings are already worn. Cylinder walls already damaged. Toyota issued a technical service bulletin about this. Not a recall. A TSB means dealers know, but they only tell you if you ask the exact right question. Toyota verdict: buy with confidence on the right model. But if it has a V6 from this generation, check that oil every 1,500 miles. No exceptions. Honda now. And this is where it gets personal, because Honda's problem is not just an engineering failure, it is a geographic decision that they made about you specifically. Honda's 1.5-liter turbocharged engine inside the CR-V and Civic has a fuel dilution defect. Unburned gasoline slips into the engine oil. Your oil level rises above the full mark on the dipstick, and the oil smells like gasoline. One mechanic pulled a dipstick on a CR-V with only 8,000 miles and immediately knew something was wrong. Over time, this destroys your engine from the inside. Bearings, camshafts, cylinder walls, gone. Engine replacement, $5,500 to $9,500. Now here's the part that should make you angry. Honda faced this exact same problem in Japan in 2013 with an earlier engine. They fixed it for Japanese customers. They never applied that fix to the American version. Same defect, same internal knowledge, different decision based on which market you live in. And when the American complaints started coming in, Honda's official response to owners was drive longer distances. Change your oil more often. They told you that your normal driving habits are wrong, instead of admitting their engine has a design flaw. There is currently an active class action covering 2017 through 2023 CR-V, Civic, and Accord models with this engine. Honda verdict: the 2.0-liter naturally aspirated engine has 0 of these problems. Find that engine specifically. The 1.5 turbo, stay away. Mazda. I need to say something about Mazda that most people got completely wrong. In 2023, Mazda's reliability ranking dropped in Consumer Reports. Automotive channels everywhere said Mazda's getting worse. Avoid them. That was wrong. The drop came entirely from 2 brand new models, the CX-70 and CX-90 plug-in hybrid. First-generation hybrid systems with early teething problems. The CX-5, Mazda's main vehicle, was completely untouched by any of this, and the CX-5 still holds a 4.5 out of 5 reliability rating on RepairPal. Ranked number 1 out of 26 midsize SUVs, above the RAV4, above the CRV, above every competitor in its class. Annual maintenance cost, $447 per year. Class average $573. The 2023 model year 0 NHTSA recalls for the entire year. The reason comes down to one engineering decision Mazda made that every other brand abandoned. They refused to use a CVT transmission. While Honda, Nissan, and Subaru were all switching to CVTs to chase fuel economy ratings, Mazda kept a conventional 6-speed automatic. That single decision is responsible for most of Mazda's reliability advantage over every competitor. Mazda verdict, the most underrated Japanese car on the market. If you are not looking at Mazda seriously right now, you are probably missing your best option. Subaru, clean record on paper. But here is what the paper does not show you. During the Subaru Ascent CVT lawsuit, internal documents became public. Those documents showed Subaru engineers flagged the CVT chain engagement problem during pre-production testing. Before the car went on sale, the engineering fix was calculated at approximately $340 per vehicle. Subaru's legal team ran the numbers, projected warranty costs versus fixed costs. They chose not to fix it, so they sold you a car they already knew had a problem, because the math worked out in their favor. One woman bought a brand new 2024 Ascent. Total CVT failure in 12 days. Not 12,000 miles. Not 12 months. 12 days. She went back to the dealer. Parts were on back order. She waited 40 days for a replacement CVT. That replacement failed at 21,000 miles. She is currently on her third CVT in a car she bought brand new. Each replacement at the dealer, $8,000 to $10,000. And here is the trap inside Subaru's extended warranty settlement. To keep that warranty valid, every service must be done at an authorized Subaru dealer. Miss one oil change at an independent shop, coverage gone. They built a trap into the safety net they offered as compensation. Consumer Reports reliability score for the 2022 Ascent, 18 out of 100, one of the lowest scores ever recorded for any vehicle from any brand. Subaru verdict, avoid the Ascent completely. The older Forester and Outback with a naturally aspirated engine are a completely different ownership experience. And now Nissan. I want you to understand one thing about Nissan's CVT that changes everything. The transmission failing inside the Rogue, Altima, Sentra, and Pathfinder is not made by Nissan. It is made by a company called Jatco. Jatco is 75% owned by Nissan. Nissan owns the company making the transmission that keeps destroying their customers' cars. They control the design, the manufacturing, the quality decisions, and this same fundamental transmission design has been failing since 2003. Over 20 years, multiple lawsuits, $277 million in settlements, and Jatco CVTs are still going into brand new Nissan vehicles today. Here is why it keeps failing, and this is the technical detail nobody explains. Nissan's official CVT fluid inspection interval, 60,000 miles. Independent transmission specialists have tested fluid samples from Nissan CVTs at 30,000 miles. The fluid was already showing viscosity breakdown normally seen at 80,000 miles. By the time Nissan tells you to check it, the damage has been building for years. One owner filed this complaint with NHTSA. Transmission went into limp mode at 70 miles per hour on the interstate. No warning. Car dropped to 25 miles per hour. Traffic was swerving around me. I have 3 kids. Nissan told me I was 4,000 miles out of warranty. That is one complaint. Out of over 460 filed on the 2015 Rogue alone, replacement cost $3,000 to $8,000. One owner was quoted $9,600 at 78,000 miles. And the replacement CVT fails again. Mechanics describe installing a brand new unit, knowing it will probably come back. But here is the number that stopped me completely. In 2021, NHTSA opened an official investigation into Nissan Rogue brake fluid leakage. Documented fire risk, government investigation, families notified. Average time for other manufacturers to have repair parts available that same year, 4 months. Nissan, 694 days. 694 days, driving a car with a known fire risk. While Toyota handled 5 million Takata vehicles in months, Nissan left families waiting 694 days on a brake fire risk. Same year, same global supply chain conditions. That is not a supply problem. That is a decision about how much your safety is worth to them. Nissan verdict: avoid every CVT model from 2013 onwards. If you already own one, change that CVT fluid every 30,000 miles regardless of what the manual says. It could be the difference between a running car and a $9,000 repair bill. Here is what this entire investigation taught me. Japanese reliability is not a cultural identity. It is not a brand reputation. It is an engineering and business decision that each manufacturer makes fresh, every single model year, based on cost calculations. Honda fixed their engine defect for Japan, not for you. Subaru calculated that selling you a car with a known problem was cheaper than fixing it. Nissan has owned the company making their failing transmission for decades and has not fundamentally redesigned it. Toyota covered up a safety defect until the legal cost became bigger than the cover-up. These are choices, not accidents. And when you understand that, you stop trusting badges. You start asking about specific engines, specific transmissions, specific model years. Before you buy any Japanese car, go to NHTSA.gov. Enter the VIN free, 2 minutes. It shows every recall on that specific vehicle and whether the previous owner actually got it fixed before selling it to you. That 2-minute check could save you $9,000. Next video, exact model years to avoid for every brand on this list. Year by year, engine by engine. The years they cut corners versus the years they got it right. That video might be even more important than this one.